BRUCAST is back, baby.
I have this concept of 100 fights that I like to talk about, but yeah. So there's no fight, there's no decision. That's so powerful.
100 fights? What?
Yeah, that's something that I like to. It's an idea I came up with because, like I said, I do a lot of martial arts, a lot of boxing, and I realized no one can win 100 fights per day. So if I don't care who you take, if you take the top fighters of the world, if you put them in the ring 100 times per
Mm-hmm.
day, they will lose some of them. Maybe some of us will lose 70 fights out of the 100. Maybe some will lose 30. But we're all going to lose. And even the ones that we win are going to be taxing. They're going to tax our energy, our efforts, our time. But that's what most people do. They wake up and the alarm is ringing and they go, should I snooze or should I not? Okay, I should no. Okay, I'll just snooze. 5 minutes later, should I snooze again or should I get up? And then they get up and they go, should I do my morning run or should I not? Should I scroll Snapchat now or should I put on my? So within an hour of their day, they've already fought themselves like 12 times, and I feel like it's the same thing throughout the day. They're at the office, they get a vibration on their phone. Should I check or should I stay focused on what I'm doing? No, I should stay focused. But also I want to check, but I should stay focused. But I want to check. Even if you win that fight, even if you actually end up saying, no, I'll just keep working. I still believe that's taxing. So good on you that you won that fight, but it still cost you energy, time, and resources. So what I like to do for my energy levels, but also just to make sure that I'm performing how I should be, I realized the only way that I can win 100 fights per day is if the opponent never shows up. All of those 100 fights, I'm just a winner by default because no one showed up to fight me. There wasn't a fight to begin with. It's just I just won by default. And that's what we're talking about here, when things happen automatically, when there's no decision, when it's just, oh, yep, I see now I'm already on my run. I didn't even have to think about that. So I want as few of these fights as possible, once again, for my energy levels, mentally and physically and emotionally, but also for, to make sure that I actually win the 100 fights. And there's just no other way, in my estimation, to make that happen.
Yeah, that makes totally perfect sense. But we are talking about inner fights, basically. It's
Yes.
you with yourself. And in this case, it makes sense. But there's a lot of fights that are external. And in this case, I think it's a little bit hard to control them. I mean, you cannot control them at all because they're external. And when this happens, I would say, if I may add, is you need to pick up your fights. You cannot fight all of them. Like there's this new rule at work. Like you really want to use all your energy to combat that and try to change and persuade your boss, or would you rather just not and then have more energy to do something else that you need to do that day? Like learn a
Yeah.
new skill. So when it comes to external factors, you need to choose the one.
You
Yeah.
could argue, though, you said some of those fights you can't control. You could argue, though, technically, that if you can't control it, then there's no decision. That there's no. So right now, if the boss is 6 minutes late, there's no decision for you to make. There's no way you have to kind of go, okay, either I go this or I go this. I should go. I should really do this, but I kind of want to do this for my like instant gratification. So there's not really a decision because it's outside of your control. But I do realize there are other scenarios, like you said, your boss is making a change, and there's a decision. Should you speak up and fight back, or should you just put up with it? So I understand what you mean, absolutely. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. How do you balance all that? So you're an author, right? You wrote a book. You're gonna write your second one, or have already started. You're a founder, right? You have your company, and you also wrote in your profile like you have a loving relationship. That it's also part of things that you care about and put love into and effort to it. So how it's your time schedule? How do you manage all of that?
very good question. First of all, again, don't want to sound like a broken record, but that's possible because of the system. So I know
Okay.
I know kind of when I work out, I know when I work, I know when I'm spending quality time. I make sure that it's kind of designed in a way where it works together. But something I really talk a lot about with my clients is that many people are designing a life where everything is competing. So many business owners, when I start talking about the importance of taking their health seriously, they feel like that's in competition of their business. So they feel like if they should spend 2 hours in, you know, making healthy foods and going to the gym, all of that, that's 2 hours that we take away from business inputs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I try to design things in a way that's not always possible, but very often it is. You can design your routines and design your day to day and design your life in a way where they work on top of each other. For example, the kind of training that I do, I find that I have more energy, mentally and physically, for my work. I find that I'm way more productive in my work and I'm more confident and all these things if training is part of my day. I'll be inspired by hanging out with my partner, right? So I find ways where they're kind of working together. One thing I will say is something I've begun talking about more lately. I haven't really done too much on that yet, but it's a very powerful concept. Is I saw an interview years back, like 10 years ago, maybe 5 years maybe. Um, there was this guy who kind of did it all, right? He had a huge career, very big position. He had a wife, he had 4 children, he also had hobbies, he also had a charity, he had all these things. And the interviewer asked him exactly what you just asked me. How do you balance that? How do you make sure you get all these things done? How do you actually put yourself into so many things? And he said, sorry, and the interviewer asked him, how do you manage your time? And he said, the time one is easy. The time is easy. The tricky part is energy. How do you manage your energy? Because a lot of people will say they don't have time, but they'll maybe come home from work and they'll be 2 hours on the couch scrolling TikTok. And if you ask them, why did you do that? Well,
Mm-hmm.
I literally didn't have the energy to go on my side hustle or to go to the gym or whatever. So I think energy management is much bigger than time management. Yeah, I think that may be my answer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes total sense. Have you heard about this psychological um, study? I'm not sure if it's study. It's a tool. It's a tool, psychological tool that they developed. So apparently, this is from Tobias Lundgren's, and the name of this tool is Tobias Lundgren's Bullseye. Have you heard about it? So it basically it's his approach to the whole thing. To the whole thing, I mean life. Our life is based on around 4 pillars. So pillar number one is work and education. Pillar number two is leisure. Pillar number three is personal growth or health, and pillar number four is relationships. And why it's called bullseye, because the drawing is basically a bullseye, and you do, the exercise is basically you should draw an X, mark an X closer to the center to for I probably not explain it is the best way, but basically you have those 4 pillars, and if you have all of those 4 pillars balanced, you have a stable, calm, fulfilling life. So I heard about it like 2 years ago, and it's like, wow, that makes so much sense. Work, leisure, personal growth, relationship, like those are the things that matter accordingly to Tobias Lundgren. So,
Hmm.
but I think it kind of matches a little bit to what you're saying, right? Like quality time with the girlfriend, loved ones, exercise, try to do a good job, have time for time for yourself. Like those
Yeah.
kind of the things that matter, and if you do them well, you're gonna
And
get a
then I
good.
think we still gotta uh, hold on to that idea that people are different. So for some people, maybe they want 3 hours per day with their partner. For other people, maybe they just want to see their girlfriend 2 hours per week. For some people, they want to work out 3 hours per day. For some people, they just want to work out 1 hour 3 times per week. So I think I don't think we all want a perfect equally amount of all these things. I think
Mhm.
some people want more of that, other people want more of the other thing. I know people that are super, super healthy and love their lives and are thriving and they work 16-hour days. And then we have other people that work 2-hour days and they're also. So I think you gotta find your kind of bullseye thing. Which so it's yeah.
Watch full episodes of the BRUCAST on the main YouTube channel, youtube.com/@brewfrasca.